the thing that I am grateful for is that A taught me how to ask for help and also taught me that A is for alcoholism. So I can find community and support for my alcoholism, but A is not where I go for grief counseling.
I've heard it through the grapevine.
Welcome. It's the AA Grapevine Half Hour Variety Hour, featuring the collected voices of Alcoholics Anonymous. I am Olis, an alcoholic in beautiful Oakland, California.
Hey, Olis. Hey, everybody. I'm Sam. I'm an alcoholic in Palm Springs, California.
Sam, I just want to jump right in and tell you that I read the daily quote in the app the other day, and man, it really hit me.
Real quick, folks, you can read those in the Grapevine app every day on your phone.
Every day.
That's it. Or sign up to receive them as an email at aagrapevine.org. So, Olis, what was it?
It's from the July 2008 issue of the Grapevine, and it's in an article called Lost in Translation. It reads, sobriety isn't a discrete list of tasks that you need to do and check off. It's a state of being that pervades every aspect of life. I know. You know, the part I love about it is when I got here and I saw the steps hanging on the wall. I thought to myself, why are these people still here? People were like 15, 20 years in, and I was like, if you just did one a year, sir, you could have moved on with your life. Because I mistook them as a to-do list. Yeah. I didn't understand it was a design for living.
And it is a to-do list. But every time we check them off, they magically get unchecked again, right?
Even though there's this spiritual work that I have to continue to move towards perfecting, right? I have to enlarge my spiritual life. It's not as rough as it sounds. Like it really has, you know, on page 275 in Sylvia Kay's story, Keys of the Kingdom, she says, it's not as rough as it sounds, that there are countless dividends. And I just love that. The more work I do, the more rewards there are. When I got here, it was desperation, but now I stay for inspiration.
Beautiful.
And I love that. Like, you guys inspire me.
Alice, today we're welcoming Lizz H from Los Angeles, California. And we're going to have another Grapevine Daily Quote to discuss.
Oh, two today. I love that. But first, the news. Ding dong.
Ding dong. No, there's no ding dongs in the news. It's dits.
It's dits. Dits and dongs.
The Grapevine is always looking for stories on all kinds of topics like emotional sobriety, sponsorship, newcomers, all kinds of sober fun, old timers, home groups, the 12 steps, and the 12 traditions. If you would like to share something with us, we would love to hear it. Please go to aagrapevine.org/share. And that's SHARE, not CHER.
Thank you for that clarification, Sam.
I'm here with John W., treasurer of AA World Services, to talk about member participation and contributions. Cash is down. Hi, John.
Hey, Don. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. What's up?
Well, I appreciate this opportunity. So I serve on the General Service Board as a Class B trustee. And as a General Service trustee, I'm also on one of the corporate boards. So I serve on the board of AA World Services as well. And this rotation for this year, I'm serving as treasurer. So I appreciate the opportunity. And I think in particular that it's November. November is Gratitude Month. The first official recognition of an AA Gratitude Week specifically designed to coincide with Thanksgiving in the U.S. occurred in 1956 when the Sixth General Service Conference approved the motion stipulating that, quote, this action be noted in the annual pre-Thanksgiving appeals to groups for funds to help support AA worldwide services. That's from Bill.
Bill W., our founder. That sounds like Bill, very wordy.
Yeah, but it's important.
Yes.
We're a two-country structure, so I want to note that Canada celebrates Thanksgiving in October,
Hmm.
but here in the US, it is a time for reflection and giving thanks, and I think that's a wonderful moment to think about what I've gotten from AA, and I hope my fellow members do the same.
Yes. I wouldn't be alive right now if it weren't for Alcoholics Anonymous. And dead men have no money in their pockets.
Yeah, I got sober 1 week after my 26th birthday. I was sure I wasn't going to live to 30. And in December, I'll hit 39 years sober. And that's all because of AA. I'd like to say that I can never repay AA for everything that I've gotten from it, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't try.
Hmm. And what is the situation with AA?
So cash is down. I think there's multiple reasons for that, and I don't think it's because people don't care. I think since COVID, the seventh tradition has been disrupted. Fewer people carry cash.
Hmm.
There's more online groups, and a lot of them don't have a seventh tradition piece to it. I've learned that I'm responsible for all of AA. I am responsible when anyone reaches out. And for me, that includes making sure that AA is in good financial stead. So I think this opportunity that I'm here is just to remind folks as they head into the holiday seasons to think about including AA in their year-end giving, in their annual support that they give to organizations. And I think, it cash is down because people aren't focused on the seventh tradition.
Seventh tradition. Every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions.
People aren't thinking about what it costs for services. When I first started coming around in 1986, people were asked to throw $1 in the basket. And now, 4 decades later, people are asked to throw $2 in the
Hmm.
basket. I just bought a fancy coffee on the way to work and it was $6. I should be thinking about that when I'm putting money in the basket.
Hmm.
Everything costs more and things cost more for groups. Rents are up, some have to pay insurance. Everything is more expensive. And I think it's a matter of helping members understand what their part in this is to support their home group and make sure that there's some additional funds to support the other service structures that depend on those contributions.
What's the best way to send money to AAWS, to the General Service Board?
Well, what I do as a grateful member is I have a recurring monthly contribution that just gets put on my credit card. It takes about 30 seconds to go to aa.org, click on the contributions page. You have to click that you're a member because we don't take support from outside the fellowship.
Hmm.
And it's just put in your credit card information, click monthly contributor, and you can give anywhere from $5 a month up to, well, $625 a month would max you out at what an individual can contribute.
Hmm.
But I'd like to think of it as a set it and forget it and know that I am a regular contributor to the General Service Board. I sure drank on a pretty regular basis, so I think my contributions should be regular as well.
John, thanks so much for being here.
It's been a treat, Don. Thank you.
My name is Liz, and I am an alcoholic from Los Angeles, California.
Liz, we're so happy you could join us.
Happy to be here.
Liz, when did you get here?
July 21st, 1995 is my sobriety date.
Okay.
Nice. Way back in the 1900s, the last century.
I know.
My experience has been that nobody comes to Alcoholics Anonymous on a good day. So I just want to know what was happening that things got so bad that you're like, let me try AA.
So after many years of drinking and using every day, having some run-ins with the law, the court got tired of
How old were you?
14.
14. So The young people in AA has been a part of your recovery pretty much the whole ride?
Well, it took me a while to find them.
Well, my gosh, at 14, even the young people are old people, right?
This is true.
Yeah. I was in residential treatment for 2 full years. So when I got out into the real world and went to real, well, whatever, we had meetings in rehab, they were real. But when I started, going to AA outside of rehab, yeah, I was the youngest person in the room by 30 years most of the time.
Yeah.
So in those rooms, did you find a sponsor?
I did eventually. It took a little bit.
I bet, yeah.
Most of the people in the room were not very pleased to have me there.
Say more about that. What's that look like?
I mean, I was literally told you don't belong here.
Wow.
You need to go drink more. We say that thing about how I spilt more than you drank.
Yeah.
Some people actually said that to me.
Yeah, I hate that.
Not a very welcoming situation, is what I'm hearing.
No, it was not, save for like 2 people were just a really big part of my sobriety for that 1 year I lived in that part of California after rehab.
You sharing this is a learning opportunity for people in the rooms on how not to be to someone who's coming into the rooms.
There are no rules in Alcoholics Anonymous, but we do have these beautiful suggestions that are traditions. And the third tradition says that the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. And anyone is welcome in Alcoholics Anonymous. And we have this responsibility pledge. When anyone anywhere reaches out, I want the hand of AA to always be there. And for that, I am responsible, right? Yeah. And so to say to somebody, I spilled more than you drank, or you shouldn't be here, really the history of Alcoholics Anonymous teaches us that that is not only in the interest of the person you're saying it to, but it's not in your interest. It's not in the interest of the health of our fellowship.
And that was about 30 years ago, right?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that was really hard, if there wasn't like aggression towards me for being in the room, then there was like coddling, like, oh, look at you, cute little baby alcoholic,
Yeah.
And either way, I wasn't treated like another member of Alcoholics Anonymous. So
it feeds into the delusion that maybe I don't really belong here.
Exactly.
And that's a very dangerous thing to tell an alcoholic. I was young when I got here, not as young as you. I was 26, right? Which is old for somebody that comes in at 14. But there was this like, oh, maybe I don't really belong here. I still have all my teeth. Like, maybe I still got another couple runs in me. And to have anybody sort of co-sign that is really dangerous.
I had a pretty low bottom for someone coming in at 14. I mean, I was 9 when I started drinking. I was one of 2 kids that like snuck vodka into the 5th grade. I was mostly a street kid. I mostly lived in a cemetery. I barely went to school. I just drank and used as often as possible. I saw things, I heard things, I talked to people that weren't there. Like I was not okay.
Man.
This makes you an incredible example in Alcoholics Anonymous. Would you share how it's turned around for you and how you've been able to be the sponsor you wish you'd gotten, or the member that greets people that you wish had been there for you?
My sponsees are not my responsibility. It's their responsibility and God's responsibility to stay sober. My only responsibility is to share what was shared with me. And I feel like everybody that I've seen in AA, I certainly did, goes through a period where, I feel like I have to tell my sponsees what to do. And if they don't do it, then they're going to get loaded. And if they get loaded, then it's a reflection on me. Like, not that that's an active thought necessarily all the time, but when I go back years later and look at my behavior, I can see the motivation from doing my own inventory.
I know that I experienced the same thing in my early days of being a sponsor.
Also, I know that it takes different types for different people. What works for me is not always going to work for someone else.
Are you in service? Do you do service work?
I love being of service. I mean, I really love AA service. I'm a big nerd about it. So I started just by being a group literature person, and then I did H&I stuff in California, and then
that's hospitals and institutions.
Basically every position at group level. I mean, even cleaning ashtrays because you still smoked indoors in meetings when I got sober, you know, like
That was going on back then, right?
Back in the
um,
days, yes.
my favorite transition of that when meetings became half smoking and half non-smoking, you know? So if you want non-smoking, yeah,
Yep,
exactly,
because the smoke
exactly.
stayed on that
Very
side of the
funny to
room,
me.
right?
So yeah, all of that. And then I became a GSR actually around the same time that I joined the ICYPA bid committee.
Hmm.
ICYPA is the International Conference of Young People in Alcoholics Anonymous. And it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I got to be the program co-chair. That was a 2003 ICYPA.
Wow.
Um,
That is no small task.
I mean, it just taught me so much. When I walked into my first young people's meeting, I walked into the basement of the Volano Club, and there were, I mean, who knows how many people were actually there, but in my mind, there were like 150 people there, all around my age. And I had
Yeah.
never had that experience in AA
Yeah.
before. And
Yeah.
I had, at that
Oh,
point, 4 years sober. And it freaked me out. I was like, just people dating in
Yeah.
AA was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not a thing that
Right. Yeah.
that I had been exposed to at all. And I didn't know how to have friendships yet. I had
mhm.
never really had a real friendship with a peer before.
Hmm.
And so I was getting ready to just like never go to a young people's meeting ever again. And my sponsor was like, well, I mean, create the fellowship you crave, right? Like you're robbing yourself of this experience to learn so
Right.
many things, but most importantly, how to have relationships.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have a long, lonely life if you don't figure this out. And so she strongly encouraged me to join the big committee and lifelong friends now from that experience.
The way you lit up talking about it was like, yeah,
It's literally growing up in Alcoholics
that's great.
Anonymous, and all of us do. But to get here at 14 and to have your formative years
Mhm.
be this learning how to have real relationships and how to date and how to work as a team.
The other big thing too was learning how to disagree with someone and have that be okay. A disagreement didn't mean the end of a relationship. Like
Ooh,
you could fight passionately about some agenda
yeah.
item at a bid committee meeting and then go out and have coffee and be friends after. And that was
Absolutely.
my home was very volatile. So when there's volatility happening, my
Yeah.
response is to go and hide somewhere.
What an amazingly
Right.
wonderful
Yeah.
thing
Mhm.
to learn, especially at a
Some
young
of us are
age.
Yeah.
still learning that.
That is awesome. Liz,
Yeah.
Liz, you got a few decades of recovery experience. What does recovery look like in your life today? Say maybe what's an average week?
I honestly was hoping we wouldn't have to go there. No, I so I say that because since 2017, my life fell apart in ways that I just wasn't. It's
Hmm.
been a rough decade. Um, I
Hmm.
continue to go to AA because regardless of my traumatic experiences and my grief and my loss and all of the things that come with that, I'm still an alcoholic.
Yes.
But there was a real shift for me and it hasn't gone back yet. Like I still do grief group.
Hmm.
I need it. I need
Yeah.
grief counseling and grief group. I started at this group that was full of other people who had compounded or traumatic grief, which means a lot of people died in their life in a very short period of time, or they had especially traumatic or violent, like super violent experiences around losing
Hmm.
someone. And I got to form this community of other people who like understood in a way that
Yeah.
I couldn't find an AA for this thing. I like to say that I drank essentially because I didn't like to feel. Like I
Hmm.
don't like feeling. And these feelings were bigger than anything I've ever experienced. I mean, just the extreme sadness and right now I'm in an anger phase because I'm dealing with the consequences of some things that have happened since my mom died
Mm.
that are extremely frustrating and extremely difficult and require
Hmm.
a lot of like black belt ninja boundaries with family members that are still alive and difficult to work with. And none of those things belong in AA. And AA taught me that, like AA taught me that I go to a psychiatrist when I need mental health help. I go to a financial advisor when I need financial help. I don't go to my sponsor. I don't go to fellows in AA. I can ask for their shared experience, but I go to AA because I am an alcoholic and I need constant reminders that that is true, and constant reminders of how I need to, do the 12 steps every day, like essentially, like what are the principles that I need to survive my alcoholism in order to get me well enough to then survive my grief,
to survive life.
Yes.
Liz, I'm so grateful that you shared this with us, because the list of things, the losses that avalanche of losses that you talked about, people think, well, I would have to drink. But the truth is that the work that we do prepares us for the certain trials and low spots. And when they come, we're able to face them. Is that easy? No. Does it feel bad? Yes. Do I need outside help? Yes. Does it make me down? Probably. But I don't have to drink no matter what.
I hate to move on, but we do need to. And you talking about continuing to work the 12 steps, these being a daily thing, you need these reminders about your alcoholism, goes right into this daily quote that we're about to talk about. Folks, you can sign up to receive these daily quotes at aagrapevine.org, and they'll be delivered to your email inbox, or you can read them every day in the Grapevine app, where we hope you'll also subscribe. $2.99 a day. A month, for only $2.99 a month.
Or you do both, and then you get the quote 3 different ways, and it really sinks in.
It really sinks in.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
This one is called The Bottom of the Glass from March 2009. It's in the Grapevine book, Voices of Long-Term Sobriety. I continue to attend AA meetings because anything I know about recovery seems to have a shelf life of 72 hours.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think my shelf life is probably more like 12 hours. I need to check in.
Folks, the longer you get here, the shelf life may get shorter. I'm super excited because we have a bit of listener feedback, and I feel like this episode has been really, really rich. And so I want you, please, Sam, to read the listener feedback for us.
We got this email from Doug H., Area 16, that's Georgia, Grapevine co-chair. He wrote to say a lot of people know about getting the daily quotes via email or in the app, but don't know about the Grapevine Daily Quote book. To let more people know about it, he suggests when planning a sobriety countdown at events, keep giving a new big book to the youngest member, but give a copy of the Daily Quote book to the long timer, which everyone has signed on their sobriety date. He closes with love the show, Doug H. Doug, whoa.
So good.
What a wonderful idea.
And I love that in your role as a Grapevine co-chair, that you're thinking about how to insert the Grapevine literature into events that we all go to.
Liz, you got to take that to the next YPI thing.
Probably more the next PRASA.
You can find the Grapevine Daily Quote Book in store at aagrapevine.org, or perhaps at your local intergroup or central office. If they don't have it, ask them to get it.
Olis, we've got a little something for you to read, please. Would you please tell us this email?
And the subject is Heard at a Meeting. It reads, thanks so much for the podcast. I love to listen to the regulars and the guest speakers. On the September 29th episode, during the Heard at a Meeting quote, the speaker said that he was grateful that his sponsor told him early on, It's going to get worse before it gets better. This prepared him for the rough patches that were bound to hit as we worked through the 12 steps of recovery. He writes, "This got me thinking, it's going to get worse either way, but only with recovery is there a point at which it gets better. If we keep drinking, it's just going to get worse. Thanks for letting me share. Keep doing what you're doing. Barbara Jean H." Barbara Jean, that was really brilliant because initially I felt naked. I felt like a raw nerve. It did get worse before it got better, but it got not just better, it got incredible. Liz, would you agree with that?
Yes. I'm so grateful for my sobriety. All of the experiences that I've had. I mean, we only got to a fraction of them. I wish I could talk about all of the gifts of sobriety forever.
Liz, thank you so much for sitting and chatting with us today. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you.
Really lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Lovely to meet you too.
My name is Jen. I'm an alcoholic. I am from Oakland, California. I subscribe to the Grapevine because I never want to be apart from AA. Staying connected is how I've stayed sober. At one point, I stopped going to meetings for a few weeks and ended up in jail for shoplifting in Hawaii. Never been apart from AA since, and the Grapevine helps me do that. Like, it was already portable, being such a little in-print version, but now there's the app and the podcast, and it just is like, it's like the heart of AA is with me. Like, so I go backpacking a lot because I'm sober. I've been able to walk from Canada to Mexico twice and done a lot of other really long distance trails, like months at a time in the wilderness. When I found out the Grapevine had a podcast, I was so excited because I was already listening to a lot of podcasts. I was so happy. And what I always tell people, I'm like, it's like kind of cheesy. Like, it's perfect. It's just funny. And I've listened to it for hours. The stories and the jokes, listen to every episode now twice, and I'm on my third time through. I talk about it all the time to anyone that will listen because it's changed, honestly, my ability to stay connected to the program and the fellowship, and I'm just so grateful.
The Grapevine and Lavinia apps are now available for both iOS and Android phones.
To get yours, go to the App Store on your phone and search for AA Grapevine or Lavinia.
My name's Andrew. I'm an alcoholic. I'm from the Central Coast of New South Wales. This is Tradition 11. Public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. I've had a fair bit of experience with this tradition. For a long time, I found it very confusing. I'm a very service-orientated person. I ground my sobriety in service. The reason I do that is because service is so reliable. I can always find somewhere where I can be of use. The central focus of service is to try and to find ways to carry our message to the alcoholic who's still suffering. You know, the suffering that I so intimately understand, the suffering that led me to drink in a way that was obviously self-destructive. Having found the solution that not only has kept me away from alcohol, but has given me a life that's worth living, that in itself gives someone so much motivation to get out there and carry this message. And if you combine that motivation with my natural temperament, which is self-promotion, you know, it's an easy rationalization. It's easy. The best way I can carry this message is to make it known that I, Andrew, an alcoholic, too knows you're suffering. Not only to alcoholics, but to everybody else. It is just so easy to rationalize. And, you know, we all fall into the trap from time to time. But on page 181 of the 12 of 12, it says, obviously, AA had to be publicized somehow. So we resorted to the idea that it would be far better to let our friends do this for us. Our friends. Who are our friends? When the findings of that Cochrane report, the Cochrane review, which gave empirical backing to the effectiveness of 12-step interventions. It gave us some up-to-date scientific backing. What we were able to do is just make the local community aware of that. We did it anonymously through letters. It says, look, if you're interested, general practitioners, the family doctor, right? If you're interested, clergymen, psychologists, here's a study. It's up to you guys. If you believe in us, please refer people to us. And those are the interactions that I value these days.
Andrew mentions the Cochrane Review. You can find mention of it in the Grapevine archives at aa.org or in your app. Search for June 2021, Alcoholism at Large Landmark Study, AA Works.
I'm at the very wit's end. Cuckoo.
This is Kenneth from Wilmington, North Carolina. I heard an old timer say something amazing at a meeting one time. He said, pints, fifths, half gallons. And I thought, man, this guy really speaks volumes.
It's really not that funny. Thanks for joining us. The AA Grapevine Half-Hour Variety Hour is posted every Monday and is produced by AA Grapevine, Inc. We don't speak for AA as a whole. We share the experience, strength, and hope of members to help others recover from alcoholism. All things Grapevine are available at aagrapevine.org, including our app and how to get in touch with us. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to know more about AA, visit aa.org or search online for Alcoholics Anonymous and your city.